Hi, this is week 7 of training for Istanbul half marathon, my first ever half marathon. Good morning. Today is Thursday, week 7. Today I've got an interval run and it's raining a little bit as well, so it just makes it a lot more pleasant. I'm here with my friend and today at 12:31 is gonna be the Persian New Year's as well. So exciting to be working out and running like right to the end of this year, 1403. Ready, set, go. Warm up done.
Find yourself a treat.
Just did my first interval, 18 minutes. Yeah, it feels alright. It's manageable. Let's go for the second one and see how that one goes. The second interval is done. Whew, that was difficult. But yeah, all done for today. Just got 1.5K of cool down and we're good to go. So this week we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. One of my friends has asked me to talk about this subject and I'm really happy that she did. Please do this as well yourselves and put it in the comments if you're interested in any kind of topic and you want me to cover it or whatnot, which gave me a really good chance to go and read the scientific research that has been done on this matter and also gather my own experience and my humble opinion. We're going to be talking about stretching today. Something that there's a lot of confusion on among runners. Should you do it? When should you do it? Should you do it before the workout? After the workout? What type of it you should do? And does it actually help with injury prevention or your performance? And we're going to go through all of that. So stretching is commonly divided into two categories, dynamic stretching and static stretching. And as their names suggest, the dynamic one has a bit of movement to it, a bounce if you like, and the static one is where you pull to the end of your range and you hold it for 30 to 90 seconds. Now, I'm going to go through what I do as my dynamic stretch and talk you through some of the scientific facts and research that has been done on the benefits of dynamic stretches for endurance runners. Yes, also, this is important. What I'm going to be talking about is mostly for long distance runners, which is anything above 5K. And before I forget, I also use these balls before I head out for my runs, sometimes. I used to just have this tennis ball, but then I went on a trip and I forgot to take it with me, so I got these two. This one is really painful. I just recommend this one. And then again on another trip I forgot to take it with me, so I got these ones from Lululemon. As I've mentioned before, I have high arches, so massaging my feet with these balls really helps release that tension that's built up in that muscle from running. You can also use this anywhere else, on your shins or your quads or your hips, whatever feels right. All right, so as you can see from here and from the rest of my videos, I like to start my dynamic stretching routine from the bottom and then move all the way up. It starts from my feet and my ankles and then to my calves and knees. This is a routine that I've learned from my coach and it's one that I do almost always before any of my sessions. Dynamic stretching, as I've mentioned before, refers to controlled movement-based exercises that take joints and muscles through their active range of motion without holding the end position. Unlike static stretching, which elongates muscles at rest, dynamic movements elevate heart rate, increase core temperature, and enhance blood flow to working muscles. This physiological response improves tissue elasticity and decreases joint fluid viscosity, promoting more efficient movement. This one right here is an example of my absolute favorite movement to do. It involves so many different muscles, and even though it looks and feels a bit awkward when you do it in the public, it feels real good to do before you start your sessions. Multiple peer-reviewed studies, including those published by the NSCA and in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, have shown that dynamic stretching prior to running improves neuromuscular activation and range of motion. These changes are associated with increased stride efficiency and reduced risk of acute muscle strain. Also, something that I think a lot of people might forget about is that upper body is as important as the lower body in running. So it's really important to warm up your shoulders as well, your shoulder blades, and like open up your chest and warm up the arms, because they're going to be doing a lot of work in the running as well. Also, dynamic stretching enhances performance as well. Athletes who use dynamic warm-ups exhibit greater vertical jump heights, sprint speed, and running economy. One study found that runners who perform dynamic stretches before a treadmill endurance test use less oxygen and reported lower perceived exertion compared to a non-stretching control group. The standard recommendation for these dynamic warm-up stretching movements is to perform 5 to 10 minutes of aerobic activity. For me, that is a warm-up run, followed by 6 to 8 dynamic movements targeting major muscle groups, each for 10 to 15 repetitions or 20 to 30 seconds. So what I do is that I always do the dynamic stretches, and then if I'm doing a faster session like an interval or a long run, I try to do some running drills as well, as you can see here. So imagine you've done your warm-up and your dynamic stretches and you've finished your session, and now you're ready to go home. But before you do so, I recommend doing a static stretch. Static stretching is when you hold a stretch in one position between 10 to 30 to 90 seconds. It is great to build flexibility and mobility over time, but it's not so ideal to do it before a run session. Ooh, and before I forget, this is the footage from my Friday long run. I was supposed to do a 14K, but I did a 15K instead. I had my first ever power gel, and it was in the pouring rain and at 9:30 p.m. at night, but the only reason I was able to do this and finish it with such great times was that my dad was there pacing me on the bike, and my mom was like cheering me out and filming me while I was doing it. So I'm super grateful to them for supporting me throughout this whole training process. All right, now moving on to static stretching. What I tend to do is to find some sort of object, a rock or a chair or something, to stretch my hamstrings. After I stretch my hamstring for around 30 seconds, I rotate my foot to stretch the inside and outside of my legs as well. Because I do have that shin splint pain, I tend to do this every time. So when I rotate my foot to the outside, I stretch the muscles inside of my leg. And when I rotate it to the inside, I stretch the muscles outside of my leg, which really helps. Static stretching is when you hold the stretch in one position, typically for 10 to 30 seconds. It is recommended to do 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 30 seconds, but what I typically do is to just do one set of 30 to 90 seconds. It's great for increasing flexibility over time, but it's not ideal before a run, and here's why. Holding a stretch for too long before running can reduce muscle strength and power output temporarily. It might make your muscles feel too relaxed, which isn't helpful if you're about to push your pace or sprint. Studies also show no significant reduction in injury risk from static stretching before a workout. Also, just like the dynamic stretches, it's really important to stretch your upper body as well. I feel like sometimes my legs are feeling fine after a workout, but my upper body, specifically my shoulders, are the ones that are actually in pain. So try to do a few stretch movements for your upper body as well. Post-run, your muscles are warm and more pliable, making it the perfect time to stretch and maintain flexibility. It can also help relax the nervous system, lower your heart rate, and provide a nice mental cool down. But what about injury prevention and soreness? Many runners stretch to avoid injury or reduce muscle soreness, but the evidence I found is quite mixed. Studies show that stretching before or after exercise doesn't significantly reduce the risk of injury. Stretching after running might slightly reduce soreness by about 1 to 4%, but it's not a magic fix. Most running injuries come from overtraining, poor form, or imbalances, not tight muscles alone. Stretching can play a supportive role, but it's not a replacement for smart training, strength work, and good recovery habits. Also, from this video, I have learned that I really need to take these stretches that I do on the mat more seriously, as I found my muscles to be super tight, and definitely stretching them is gonna make me feel better in my day-to-day life. Alright, so the key takeaways from this video is that try to do dynamic stretches before a workout to prep your body and warm up your muscles and your joints, and do a static stretch after your workout to help with your flexibility and cooling you down. That's it from me for this week, but before I go, remember, the best stretching routine for you is one that you can do consistently and adjust to your own needs. See you at next week. Week 8 is gonna be my second recovery week. And yeah, let's see how it goes.